Hey everyone, this is MissMalini and this is the first on Actor Circle, which Dia so correctly pointed out, an all-girls cast on Actor Circle, so we give that a round of applause! You know, I'm a big fan of girl power and girl energy, and today we also have a lot of members of Malini's Girl Tribe and the Good Creator Co. You will see and hear from them very soon, but first of all, thank you so much, ladies, for being here today. This is the Good Creator Lounge, where we bring a lot of positivity and talent in one room together to sort of unpack the journey of being an actor. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I love the movie. I watched Thak Thak, and Dia had given me a little insight. She said it's a very special and sweet film. So I went in waiting to see, and it did not disappoint. I loved that everyone individually had their own story, everybody was a main character, which is so nice to see.
Yeah.
And everyone sort of, played out their narrative so beautifully. So today we're going to ask you some questions. I'd love to get into the characters. And we also have a live audience of Girl Tribe members who have many questions for you.
Yay.
So let's get started. But first, for everyone who has yet to see the film, I'd like for each of you to just give me a one-line introduction of who you play in the film.
I shall begin. I play Manjari, who is an overprotected, very naive, innocent girl from Mathura.
Yeah.
And really, when she sets off on this adventure, it's the first time she's setting off by herself. So everything's new for her. And she's out there making a fool of herself sometimes, figuring herself out. That's her.
Got it?
I play Uzma. She is a Jugadu mechanic, a homemaker, and a mother. And I don't think she's ever been on a biking trip without
A man.
Yeah.
without a man
Or
or,
ever,
anybody
actually.
actually, ever.
Yeah.
And she takes off on this incredible journey with these three amazing women.
Amazing.
I am playing Sky, Sashi Kumari Yadav, उसका पूरा नाम है. जैसे ही वो अपने पूरे असली नाम से छुप रही है और झूठ बोल रही है, वैसे ही वो दुनिया से और खुद से भी छुप रही है और झूठ बोल रही है. So it's her journey of coming out, accepting herself, and issues है वो solve करती है, but in the end realize करती है कि जो भी है ठीक है, I have to face my fears. Finally,
nice way to put it.
हाँ, मतलब यही है.
And I am Biker Nani. Manpreet Kaur Sethi. Sethi thi na?
Sethi.
Actually, I'm the sort of joker in the back, because one wouldn't expect a woman my age to want to go for a bike ride. Certainly not to Khardungla, about 20 minutes after she's got the bike in the first place. But that's what stories are about, and here she is deciding to do the most adventurous thing in her life and actually managing to do it.
Yeah.
I love it. And one of the things that I absolutely loved about your character is that you rightfully said, you see a lot of, roles of older women played in these very stereotypical roles, right? So you have the mother, the grandmother, the mother-in-law, all of that. I love that you're a biker nani, And I, for the longest time, always wanted to learn how to ride a bike, and I gave up out of fear. But after I saw you do it and fall over with the helmet, I'm like, if she can do it, surely I can try.
She
I will.
She actually
must.
got on a bike.
She
and
did. I
learned
wanted to
ride.
ask you. You did. You really learned how to ride.
Of course I did.
My favorite is with the bail in your face. Yeah. And I love that. And I also love this because I talk about this so much, is that I feel that we talk about body shaming, we talk about skin color, we don't talk about this narrative of age shaming, especially with Indian women. That ab now you're this much older, you shouldn't dress this way. Like I get so much, you should dress. I'm going to dress this way till I'm 85. If you've met my mother, this is how it's going to be. But I love that your character is not about those moments, and I also love that there's a little romance and a little flirtiness. So obviously
They
I'm
never
sure
committed to it.
Huh?
I
They're
wish
just
they had.
friends.
This is raunchy. Straight into the
but I
mix.
love that it was there, that there was that hint of romance,
A
and I want
possibility of it,
a
though.
possibility, and I would love to know from you, aside from what attracted you to playing this character, tell us something about Biker Nani that people should think about when they go watch the film, that you decided was part of her being.
To answer your second question first, what was there not to like about this role?
Yeah.
I would have been a dumb idiot
Yeah.
if I hadn't accepted it. This was a role that I would give my eye teeth for. I would have paid them to let me do it. No, not quite, but that's going a bit too far. But really, it gave me the opportunity to ride a bike.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd do that.
Yeah.
And it did. I mean,
Was
I
it
got that
scary?
opportunity. Of course it was. And that thing is a bloody beast.
It's heavy, yeah.
That 350cc is very heavy.
Yeah.
I couldn't control it. This one was, I mean, all the others were so comfortable on it, but I really was having a tough time all through.
Yeah.
I can't say I'd be able to drive in Bombay. The traffic here, I'd be a danger, and I'd probably be killed before I can get out of my building.
Yeah.
But what definitely did attract me to this part was that there was nothing dramatic about it. She was just a
real.
woman
Yeah.
who wanted to do something different. There was
Yeah.
no major point she wanted to make. She wasn't fighting for some cause or anything. She just wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us who just want to do something, and we never get down to doing it. And it's a pity. All of life goes by, and you keep waiting for the right moment and the right thing. You wait for somebody to come along with you. You wait for God knows what.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important theme of this film is like just get on with it, go for it, do it. You know, Fatima, your character I resonated with so much because I live in this world of social media as well, where so much is put up, and you know, also when you're getting, so she's getting flack because she live streams a little piece of their journey, and everyone's now in trouble because they're not supposed to be out on this ride. I think that you cover so many themes in this film, and I'm so happy to see this one about the digital devil
World, yeah.
and the world that lives there, and all the, you know, and I'm sure, ladies, raise your hand if you've had a creepy DM. I have for sure. We all have. You know, there's one guy talking to himself in his DMs. And this sort of unpacks that, and the guy who you might even love, who then shares your nudes or does whatever, and I think you embodied that so well. So what was your learning from this character and your word of caution or your advice? Like how much should women be afraid that, oh, कल मेरी बेइज्जती हो जाएगी इंटरनेट?
यार एक तो वो पहले भी होती थी, अब अलग लेवल पे होती है.
Yeah.
तो जब भी आप कुछ करोगे and you're putting yourself out there, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you're saying, but the moment you're out there for people to judge you, और अब तो social media भी है, तो आप हर दिन अपनी life document कर रहे हो. And now that's the way of being. The generation now is very comfortable with sharing their day-to-day movement. You don't realize that there is somebody who's actually stalking you.
Yeah.
And they know everything. I have some people, when I go into the other messages,
yeah.
they know everything. They know the name of my dog, what she eats, what paintings there on my wall, and I know I have done that. I have let myself, my personal self out there for people to know so much. So what is private? So you have to keep finding that. और वो काम भी है ना हमारा कि हमें बाहर भी रहना है, हमें बोला भी जाता है थोड़ा और बाहर रहो, तो वो हम उससे तो कॉन्स्टेंटली जूझते रहते हैं. बट वन थिंग दैट आई लर्नड इज दैट आई एम अ लिटिल जजमेंटल. आई यूज्ड टू बी. क्या है ना कि जब भी मुझे कोई बोलता था ना तुम इन्फ्लुएंसर हो, थोड़ा खटकता था.
हाँ.
फिर मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि स्पेशली आफ्टर प्लेइंग दिस कैरेक्टर कि उसमें भी कुछ गलत नहीं है यार. जो इंसान एक इन्फ्लुएंसर है वो भी एफर्ट डाल रहा है. There is some dignity in it. There is a lot of effort in it. There is a lot of mehnat in it. So why should I cringe? And that is the future. They are making the most of what they have available. They are making money. They are out there. They have 30 million followers. I can't do that. It's a different thing. But I shouldn't cringe.
Yeah.
If somebody is calling me an influencer, तो वो मेरा ना थोड़ा मैंने judge करना बंद कर दिया.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And actually his topic pe I was coming to a question for Dia is like, I think, you know, what I loved about your character in this, she also unpacks the side of women that can sometimes be each other's worst enemy also. How your character unpacks what is, you know, what is the judgment we have with each other, because it's, you know, when you don't know something, it's easier to judge it, or it's easier to say something negative, and then getting past that and embracing each other. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about this theme and how do you tackle, you know, because as a human, you already know and have this open mind. So when you're playing the character, how do you convincingly portray someone who doesn't have an open mind?
You know, it's one of the most wonderful things about this film is the opportunity to embrace just our diversity. You know, we're such diverse women, we're so different in every aspect, in every way, and how we just come together and become so inclusive of each other and accepting of each other is the magic of the story. And I think that's how progressive human beings are even in real life.
Correct.
where if we have a matter of difference, or there's a difference of opinion or a different way of approaching things or eating food or anything, we find our way to accept it, and it doesn't become a point of contention, and it's not something that we judge each other by.
It was much easier earlier. It's becoming a little more difficult
True,
now. But
yes,
anyway, it still is
I agree,
true, I think,
but,
by and large.
But I think that at least for those people who genuinely intend to be good to one another, no matter what their sex is or what their background or political standing, I think when you come into any journey or any path or any narrative, you go in with that attitude of accepting, then you find even differences are possible to live with and accept. And I think the most special thing about the point that you brought up, which you seem to have liked, was the fact that you may even be deeply hurt by the actions of an individual. You are well within your means to react to that. But can we learn to react to anything and everybody and anybody with respect? That even when we are angry, we never lose that dignity, and we are never disrespectful to each other. I
love
think that's
that.
so important.
Agree to disagree respectfully. I think
Yeah.
if everyone just signed up for
And
this.
you're welcome to express your anger, but why can't you do it with respect? And I think that's something that's really lost on a lot of people these days.
It's tough.
We hear it on, we see it in the news, we see it in debates, we see it online. Whenever somebody disagrees with someone or they're angry at somebody about something, they're so violent. There's so much aggression in that
And
anger.
I have to put a counterpoint to that, because I grew up at a time when it was possible to be
Angry but do it
to disagree. I mean that's what college taught me when I was growing up. That it is possible to have a different opinion. Everyone
what
in the
we
college
all
canteen
That would be healthy
have
debate.
learnt it, and we all fought with each other and screamed at each other over cups of tea. But at the end of the day, we went out and saw a movie together also. So it was much easier. I'm finding this my way and your way in the distance.
It's also this cancel culture, no? Also,
man.
kuch bhi bol do.
It's scary now. I'm not at all on social media, so I don't really know what you guys are talking about. And I'm deeply relieved that I'm as old as I am and I don't have to do this. I'm so happy.
But you will be amazed at how many people your age are on social media.
Yes, of course.
And aren't spared either.
Absolutely,
So there's
I know
no
that. I know that.
respect or decency, like even given to people
respect
who,
of age,
who
of
should naturally have more respect for.
I actually, Sanjana, I had a question for you as well. So, I love there's a part in the movie where, like you said, you play this really protected, and your mother's always telling you do this, don't do this. And then when you're taking her on the bike and you're saying, and she goes, "Will we be safe?" And I think you say something so poignant that you've protected me my whole life. And I still get chills when I think about it. Don't you think you'll be like? Of course, I protect you. And I think there's such an interesting point you made there is that women in their in that moment of shining glory have that ability to save and be saved. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about this, because you're playing this character who I think is pretty representative of still in 2023 a vast majority of young women in modern cities, all of that, who are told like, and then I have so many friends like that, they'll wear a certain thing when they leave the house and then the clothes will come off when they can go, all of that.
And we've all done that.
We've
and,
all
and
done
that's,
that, yeah.
I think despite of which economic strata you come from as well. I mean, growing up, I grew up in Delhi, and it's only when I moved to Mumbai did I realize that I don't have skirts and dresses in my wardrobe. I only have jeans and trousers, and that's just how I grew
Just
up.
conditioned,
Because there was no way, and it wasn't something necessarily that my mom told me, that you're not allowed to wear a skirt. It's just something I felt on the street.
Yeah, man, Delhi.
And that's the thing, you grow up in a city, and then when you talk about it like that, it's like you're villainizing it.
No, but it's true, but
it's just objectively
of course.
true. But going back to like that beautiful element of mothers worrying, right? Like for Manjari, her character's core was this worry that she had to somehow figure herself out while protecting her mother's emotion, which is all of us. I'm 27 today. I still seem to be trying to protect my mom's.
I'm 46. I still do it. My
right?
mom.
It never ends.
It never ends.
And the beautiful part about that was like Rat said that by going on this journey, she didn't come back a changed human
Exactly.
being. She just, it's only her perspective that changed. Which is why every experience of ours ideally should only alter our perspective. It doesn't have to 360 our life.
Yeah.
Which is what films do as artists, you know, for us.
Absolutely. So, you know, I always get to ask these sort of probing questions, but I feel that, you know, since I wasn't in the making of the film and the four of you spent so much time together, I'm going to try a little experiment. Okay?
अरे ऐसे मत करो.
I would like you to pick anybody else from the cast and ask them a question that you had while making the movie. Maybe you know the answer already, maybe you do not know yet. And Ratna ma'am, I'm going to start with you. Who would you like to ask from the rest of your cast, and what would you like to ask?
इतना सोचना पड़ रहा है.
हाँ यार, मैंने कुछ सोचा ही नहीं. तुम लोगों को क्या पूछूं?
तुमने हमारे बारे में कुछ सोचा ही नहीं.
No. But you know, that was the fun part of this thing. That I didn't know any of them. Dia I knew because we'd worked together, and also I've met her many times before. But the other two I didn't know at all. So I'm going to ask of one of you.
चलो मैं बच गई.
बच गई तुम. कोई और तो पूछेगा.
अच्छा, हम लोग को सवाल खुद का क्रिएट करना है.
हाँ,
अरे
यही तो मुश्किल है ना.
सोच रहे हो.
इसीलिए तो सोच रही हूँ मैं. And I'm buying time by talking about all this.
I like it.
While her brain is
Yes.
furiously.
I don't know.
Okay, so I want to ask you.
What
else?
Shit.
Yeah.
What?
This child was a child actor. She's not a child anymore.
Yeah.
But she has been a child actor.
Yeah.
And she has had to make the transition to growing up. And making sense of yourself as an adult actor. Children actors often get stuck in the most unfortunate position of becoming painful way beyond their
Age.
time.
Yeah.
Becoming precocious, becoming more important than anything else, staying uneducated. Because you just don't have the opportunity to get yourself an education. And I find that you have managed to cross that barrier.
Yeah.
And how did you do it, and how tough was it?
Honestly, I don't know, because जैसे होता है ना, life just keeps on happening. You don't make a solid decision to be the certain way you are. मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरीके से मेरी अपब्रिंगिंग रही है, मैंने पढ़ाई नहीं की है. जैसे हम लोग एक्टिंग करते थे तो घंटे भर तक काम करते थे. I flunked my 9th. I almost passed my 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th because I was a child actor. तो वो लोग पासिंग मार्क्स, ग्रेस मार्क्स कर करके थोड़ा पुश कर दिया. 9th तक पहुंच गई, उसके बाद फेल हो गई. फिर बोर्डिंग स्कूल गई, ऑलमोस्ट फेल हो गई. सो आई बीन एकेडमिकली आई बीन अ ज़ीरो, नीलबट्टे सन्नाटा. बट मुझे ना लगता है कि मुझे ज़िंदगी ने ज़्यादा सिखा दिया, क्योंकि मैं हमेशा ऐसे सिचुएशन में रहती थी जहाँ पे एक बच्चे को नहीं रहना चाहिए. मैं हमेशा ऐसे लोगों के साथ थी जो मुझसे कहीं ज़्यादा वाइज थे, कहीं ज़्यादा पढ़े हुए थे, कहीं ज़्यादा लिखे हुए थे, जिनकी ज़बान ज़्यादा साफ़ थी, जिनकी सोच ज़्यादा साफ़ थी. तो पेपर में क्या है वो इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है, क्यों क्या वो मैं इम्बाइब कर रही हूँ वो इम्पॉर्टेंट है. तो मुझे लगता है मैं लकी रही हूँ कि मुझे 2 एक्सट्रीम एक्सपीरियंस करने का मौका मिला है. क्योंकि जब मैंने वो नीचे का जर्नी देखा तब समझ में आया कि आप वहाँ से उठ भी सकते हो. ऊपर का देखा तो वो भी समझ में आया कि आप गिर भी सकते हो. So I think that's why I am the way I am, and luckily and fortunately I connect with people who are sane.
Wow.
See.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so beautifully answered.
Can
Lovely.
I just add to what she
Yes,
said?
please.
She also learns every day. I think she spends so much time in informing herself and educating herself. बहुत सारे लोगों की स्कूलिंग स्कूल तक ही सीमित है. बहुत कम लोग
ज़्यादातर
होते
लोगों का ऐसा.
ज़्यादातर. I think a true education is of somebody who continues to learn through life, which is something she does.
So, Dia, who would you like to ask and what?
I'd love to ask a question of Sanjana. You know, I've often, most often, people tend to stereotype actors and put them in boxes. And basically, there's always this fear that we have about being perceived to be a certain way if we play a certain part. And I think one of the most adorable compliments you got after one of our initial screenings was from Shabana Azmi, who walked out and said, "Oh my God, everybody is only going to give Sanjana like super dumb parts." Because the naivety of this character was so effortlessly conveyed. I think, and for somebody who is so well informed, who is so smart, For you to play a naive Manjari, how hard was it?
How much of LSR did you have to dump?
I actually found it the easiest thing in the world. I found it to be the most natural journey that I've been on, and I think that just is because of how beautifully all our parts were written.
Yeah.
We actually, the four of us, didn't have the luxury of spending too much time with each other before the film started, and we all had to find our characters alone, kind of, you know, on our own. And I just felt like that element of Manjari's, which is that she wears those rose tinted glasses and views the world, that and she and I kind of share in common, you know, that feeling of just wanting to believe the good in people and the good in things. Once I caught on to that, everything else just felt really natural and really just flowing.
It was. She was flowing. Yeah. She turned into Sanjari.
Yeah, we had a running joke.
We had many Sanjari moments.
And I am the clumsy. I'll fall, the bottle will fall, all of that will happen.
Amazing, amazing. All right, Fatima, who
ये
would you like
गलत
to
हुआ
ask?
वहाँ तक सही था जहाँ तक ये लोग पूछ रहे थे यू मैडम सी बिकॉज यू डू थिएटर ऑल्सो और आप फिल्म भी करते हो और आपको इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन है हर डिपार्टमेंट की सो व्हेन यू सी ऑन सेट्स दैट ए डिपार्टमेंट इज लैकिंग डोंट यू फील लाइक टेकिंग ओवर एंड दूसरा डोंट यू वांट टू डायरेक्ट फिल्म्स क्योंकि प्लेस तो आप कर ही रहे हो आपको फिल्म बनाने की इच्छा होती है
नहीं,
बिल्कुल नहीं
quite
Why?
simply no. Because you know, in film you have to create an entire universe.
करेक्ट
On stage you don't have to. You've got to mold a universe.
करेक्ट
It exists in front of you.
Correct.
And you've got to find a way to give it shape so that you can communicate it better to others. In film, you've got to do it from scratch. And that is a really specialized form. I mean, I have basic ideas about how a performance should be done, how a scene could be blocked, but that's not enough. In film, that understanding, and I feel that it is a natural understanding some people have. The ability to catch what is required of a scene and how to communicate that simply, effectively and unusually. ये मुझे नहीं आता और अब जरा टाइम हो गया है तो मैं नेक्स्ट लाइफ में सीखूंगी. Basically the whole business, I think, is one of communication.
Yeah.
We don't remember that clearly enough. At least that's what I didn't realize at all until I grew up a lot more and realized that when I am acting, I'm not trying to display my wares. That's the last thing I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
My wares should be there. They should come across in any case.
करेक्ट
But what am I trying to do? Communicate what the writer or the director wants me to communicate.
Amazing.
Dr. Lagu, one of the great actors of our country, you guys have seen him only on film, so you haven't seen some of his really exquisite work on stage. He is was an extraordinary actor. And his autobiography was called Laman. It was in Marathi. And the Laman, word Laman means carrier of goods, a porter, जो सामान ढोता है. An actor is a Laman.
Yeah.
हम किसी का सामान ढो करके किसी और तक पहुंचाते हैं.
Yeah.
So true. That's very, very well put. Okay, quick question from you to Dia, and then we will hand it over because we have a couple more questions. I can see this. So I knew the wheels are moving, and we've heard each person's.
That's the accurate guess. Yeah.
I'm also a mentalist.
I have so many questions for I'm just trying to choose which one. But
Diya.
दिया
No, it's for Diya. I'm just trying to choose which one of them. But this is, I'm being selfish, and this is what I personally really have always wanted to know. Diya has been like my inspiration since I was very little because she is an incredible activist and I'm like a baby activist right now. But I actually want to know that how do you think your life and your work as someone who is so driven to drive impact and the amount of time you dedicate to that, how does that positively influence you as an actor, and if there's any way that you think it takes away from you as an actor?
Oh, it can't possibly take anything away because I think that we're all better artists when we live well.
Yeah.
And living well means engaging with life and reality every day, and knowing and understanding and empathizing with things that are happening around us, whether it's women's rights issues or child's rights issues, or just being aware and understanding what's happening in our world. And because we're all driving stories and we're all a part of narratives, and the only way we can truly empathize with the narratives that we are a part of, or the stories we tell, or the characters we play, is when we live. And I think I'm a better actor because I'm an activist.
Absolutely.
Lovely.
I'm not at all surprised by your answer.
All right, so we're going to quickly get some questions from the audience. So one of the things I love about doing live audience interviews is that we get a chance to sort of get people's brains going and ask the questions that they're thinking about when they normally are watching a YouTube interview and thinking, I wonder what this means. I could have asked a question. So I have brought the Girl Tribe and some members of the Good Creator Co. in the live audience. Just raise your hand if you have a question and we'll pass you a mic.
We all have a question.
Everybody has a question? All right, so go ahead.
Hi, so this is Radhika here.
Hi, Radhika.
And hi.
Love your glasses.
Thank you so much. So first of all, it's a pleasure that I got a chance to, see this live interview. Thanks to Malini. So my question is to all of you actually, that it's experience of 4 strong women working together. I mean, you all 4, I remember you all 4 from different movies, and I just have those images in front of me. So what is it like working together, thinking about, when you all 4 are strong?
Do we give the official one or do we give the...
Talk about the cat fight.
बहुत झगड़े हुए, बिल्कुल जमा नहीं, हिसाब चू चू चाचा चल रहा था इन लोगों का. I was like, where am I? No, but I think if I may start.
Please do. And end also.
And also, I think हर इंसान का हर किसी के साथ अलग रिश्ता है, अलग लेवल पे है. And because we are individuals in the end, we are women, yes, but उससे पहले हम एक इंसान है और वो डिफाइन करता है कि किसका रिश्ता किसके साथ कैसा है. And yes, all of us are working towards the same story, so intention is the same. एक अपना focus same है और उसके कारण journey थोड़ी आसान हो जाती है. We enjoyed each other's company, we enjoyed the scenes that we were doing. There were times where there were suggestions from other people. I love blocking, so whenever she would say blocking या rehearsals, I'm like yes, 10 बार करना है. But there were times when that was not allowed possible. And not possible. But you learn and you see other people working who are so organic and वो लोग कर लेते हैं, कभी भी उठ के कैसे भी कर लेते हैं. You learn, and I think that's what I enjoy. We are people who come from different background with a different heart and different energy, and somehow we manage to stay sane with each other.
Happily we manage.
Yeah.
Yes, happily. I agree.
We are proof of the fact that a woman is not a woman's worst enemy.
Yes.
100% not.
Yes.
Let's just dump that idea.
Yeah, let's
forever.
I love that, and I think that's one of the things that it's so important for people to see. Because I think क्या होता है ना, there's a lot of like news and gossip sites that always like to make it that all women are each other's enemy and हर actor का एक दूसरे से jealousy है, but that's just not the case. And I've seen this for 15 years. Most of the time, that everybody is rooting for each other.
Absolutely.
I've seen it time and time again. Okay, next question. Pass the mic.
Hi, my name is Charbi, and I have a question for 3 of you.
Okay.
My first question is to Ratna ma'am. Would you ever go for an adventure like this in your real world?
Oh, of course, I would love to.
What would
Except
be that?
that?
Not on bike?
Not on a bike, because I think I am now a little concerned about
Your health.
breaking bones.
Yeah.
They don't repair so easily at my age. So I'm a little concerned about that. But I would really like to do something on the sea, for example.
Would you let your fans see that real Ratna ji on real adventure?
Why would my fans want to see it? Let me just do it first now. I'm very
No, I would
afraid
love
of
to
water.
see you without cameras, like how you really face that
Chalo, let's go
adventure.
for a dive together. Then maybe.
I will drown.
That's something that I probably need to crack. I am very afraid of water. I have
Same
tried
here.
to dive before and I have behaved abominably. And I'm very embarrassed about that. So I'd like to have a chance to put that right.
So let me just let's get someone else to ask a question, then we'll come back to you because I think there's a lot of people questions.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
since you've
sure.
asked one, then we'll come back to you if we have time. Thank you.
Very good evening and thank you, Miss Malini, for organizing this Actors Circle. I have a question. Are multi-star cast of men better at giving each other space to perform freely, or is it the multi-star cast of consisting of women good at the same?
I think it's a very unfair question.
Spoken like a true man. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I don't think a caste coming together and working well with each other has anything to do with our gender. I think it has everything to do with the kind of story that has been written and the kind of team involved in bringing actors together and what kind of people these individuals are. In our case, we had a great time. And the one example of a very, very beautiful moment I think we've all shared is also there in the promo as well. We were in Ladakh. We were almost quite close to getting to Khardungla. It was raining. We'd spent most of the day doing riding shots. And there's this one moment where it was just raining and the four of us were there and we were just taking in the vastness of this mountain, the infiniteness of the space, the finiteness of our existence, and the infiniteness in our potential as people. And we all felt it. We didn't discuss it. We didn't have a conversation about it later, even after we were done. We were in that moment and we felt it together, all the four of us. And the cameraman felt it and the director felt it and the cameraman was crying after that shot. Wow. He had tears streaming down his face. And that is the power of language. It's unspoken, but it still conveys what it needs to.
I'd like to clarify one more thing, that it has to do with the egos involved.
Yes, that too.
That is the main thing. If whether it's man or woman doesn't matter,
Yeah.
that ego is a beast,
Yeah.
needs to be controlled. And if you can't control it, whatever gender you belong to, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're working with others.
Yeah.
We were able to control our egos. It's not that we don't have our moments of stupidity, but by and large we were able to control it.
Yeah.
And we were able to look at the final product and focus on that.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, we can take maybe two more questions. I think the one lady in the front wanted to ask. After that, you can pass it to her in the front. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Banashri. My question is to Ratna ma'am. How did you prepare yourself for this role and for this character to portray yourself? So what were the challenges that you faced over here?
3 guesses.
Riding the bike.
Riding and Punjabi. All 3 things. I didn't know how to ride. I didn't know Punjabi. So those were the 2 things actually I had to practice and get somewhat proficient at. I had a lot of wonderful help that was in my benefit, to my benefit. And apart from that, I was not at all worried about being able to convey what Mahi, the kind of person she is. I've seen people like that. I have lived with people like that. So I wasn't concerned about that. I thought I'd be able to get it right if I could get these other 2 right. So those were my 2 big challenges, and to a great extent I managed to overcome them. Not entirely, but more or less.
Okay, so you did learn to ride bike in this movie.
Yeah.
So how much time?
Somebody show her those.
Yeah, please watch the movie and see. It's incredible. Last question.
Hi, I'm Bhavna.
Hi.
At the rate Bhavna Agarwal official. My question is to Diya ma'am. What inspired you to take up this role? Maybe after the first script reading?
One line. The one line of the story and I was sold. Of course, when I read the script, I discovered it stood for everything that I believed it would be. It was just incredible to be told that a story was being made with 4 women who belong to 4 different age groups, 4 totally different, socio-economic backgrounds, coming together as complete strangers and riding on motorcycles from Delhi to Khardungla, and through that journey finding themselves. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Ratna says she didn't even dream that at 64 she would learn to ride a bike and play a part like this. I had to wait for 23 years for a film and a story like this to come my way. And it's only taken the Hindi film industry 110 years to tell a story like this.
I'm really inspired by your character in the movie because I also have that kind of a struggle, you know, as you moved out and you know you wanted to discover your own self in the movie.
और
So I
legacy
think-
किसकी होती है? All we appropriate legacy to men in a patriarchal society. And I think the most important thing that was my takeaway from the story for me as Uzma was, of course, beyond fear lies freedom. That's a given. But as women, we need to own our own legacy.
Right.
Just as we have agency, and that's so much a part of, you know, just determining our own path and making our own choices.
Amazing.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhavna.
you guys. We're out of time, but this has been absolutely amazing. Please go and watch Dhak Dhak. Especially all the girls from the
It'll be on
tribe.
OTT
Spread the
soon.
word. It'll be
You find
on
yourself.
OTT soon. And it's just a story that you will relate to because you will relate to so many of the characters, you will relate to so many of the narratives. And it is, if not 2023, the time to spread the word that women need to have these narratives and voices, then I don't know when is. But thank you all for being
Thank
here
you,
so
Malini.
much.
Thank
It's been a delight. And we're going to take a group picture now, but let's take a cover photo for our YouTube video first.